So today I'm going to do a tour around Cleethorpes. I'm right at the top end of Cleethorpes. Absolutely beautiful up here. So I'm probably going to just give us some places I didn't know about Cleethorpes. I didn't realise it was such a big place. It's like probably a bit of a nature reserve up here. And just in the distance you can see one of the forts built in the First World War, and then used in the Second World War. There's two of these forts and they put nets between them to stop the submarines getting through. So I'm pretty much at the top end of Cleethorpes, and you can see some beach huts up here, and I've just seen something I've never seen before. Looks like a cricket ground, so I'm just going to pop through and show you that. So what I thought was a cricket ground looks actually like an athletics stadium. It's a running track round it, and floodlights as well, and somewhere just behind there there's a pavilion. So from one end Cleethorpes to the other is this mini railway, so hopefully I'll catch that at some stage on my journey around. Can't show you a full view of the pavilion, but you can see it from here. It looks quite nice for a pavilion, that. We're really at the top end, or the bottom end of Cleethorpes, and it is a beautiful place. I think they've had some right investment in it. It's not down and out at all around here. It sort of puts Scarborough to shame. So what I'll do is I'll keep stopping and starting the video when I've got something interesting to show you. So here's a picture of the mini train that goes around, and then we've got signal box in just up here. So here's another view on the signal box in. But it's so well maintained. With Scarborough, one side is absolutely fantastic, as it always was, Esplanade and South Bay, but the North Bay to me is really poor. But there's plenty of car parking around here, but I'm tight as usual, and I found a free car parking space just as convenient as these, and I'll let you know how much it is in a moment. So you're quite a way away from the town centre here, and you can see what the parking prices are. I'm actually close to the town centre, parked on free parking. So right at the top end you've got some out of town type shopping centre and whatever, or entertainment. So you've got the Premier Inn down there. Then you've got the globalist type names here, Subway. I had one of those in America back in 2003. I don't think things actually transmit from America as well to the UK. Here you've got a bit of an out of town, and then, like I said, pleasure entertainment around it, and I'll just pop a bit further down and give you a different angle on it. So looking back up towards the leisure and out of town, you've got McDonald's there, KFC. Would have McDonald's or KFC when there's a chip shop. And then across here we've got a cinema and theatre, which looks quite good to me from here. I know it's modern and everything, but I think it does add to this sort of town. You know, that gives them a different angle on it, especially when it's raining up here. So we'll pop into the park at the top end next. We're right at the top end of the park, and I'll show you another part of it, but got a nice bandstand in the middle. I'm assuming they have bands here. and then just behind it there's actually 3 public lavatories I've already used. And then just round here you've got somewhere where you can buy something to eat and sit outside. We'll pop further into the actual park and I'll show you the other part of the lake, but the railway is sort of running round the back of here, and then just beyond that is the sea as well. So we're a bit further into the park area, another lake here. I'm not sure if I've seen model boats on here, and then you've got that building I showed you with the food. What we'll do is we'll get out onto the road in a minute, and I'll film that a bit down there for you. But I've seen the train already going along, so I should capture the train later in the day. I thought I said you could put model boats on here, and you've got actually the times when you can actually put your model boats on this lake. Just another view of the lake from this angle as well. Back up to the food place. Up there. So the top end where I parked was behind the Wellow pub just up there, because I'm coming back on myself back into Cleethorpes now. But I have actually had a nice cup of coffee at this little cafe here in the past with my parents when I've been here. I'm just parked up here behind the Wellow, and I'm sure if you put the postcode in on the Chichester Road you can park behind here, and they're all nice houses, lovely modern housing estate up here. Or you can park somewhere over here and pay, say £4 or whatever it said on that sign for the day. So I thought I ought to give you an early view of the sea. Like, you've got the nature part down here, and then it looks like the tide's pretty much out there. And I think this might be the swimming bass, but we'll come around the other side of it and I'll show it from the other angle. Does anybody remember when the real rail crossings looked like this? I just popped through this gate. So this must be the end stop for the train. Just down here you can see the station. But I also noticed running along the side of the railway track there's a walking path and also a cycle path. So if you bring your cycle you can cycle down to the next seaside town below Cleethorpes, I'm guessing. So I'm at it'll be the bottom end. The other end behind me will be taking you back up to Grimsby. I might be able to get Grimsby football around him, but you can park just here. This is where the parking is, the cafe I've just shown you. Then you see the housing down here, it's lovely housing. Really looks pleasant down here. So this is a different angle on the leisure centre. It's been quite some years. I remember it being here 20 years ago. But I've just been speaking to a guy and he told me that there was an outdoor pool in Cleethorpes at one bit, so I'm not sure where that was. Does anybody else know? But I expected it to be completely deserted. It's October, nearly end of October. But there's quite a few people around. There's certainly a lot of traffic around. So I'm now on the beach, as you can see. It looks absolutely gorgeous round here. It's much closer now to the beach than it was round there. There's like the grasslands round that side, like a wildlife area. But as you come round this side, you can see how much closer it all is. But we'll progress as way down the front. There's a pier down there, railway station, etc. You can see the other angle on the leisure centre, and then just over here you'll find another cafe by the side. The sand out to be paid to promote Cleethorpes. The other thing I've just found out is the rides on the train are £1.50. You can only buy it in one direction, so I'm not exactly sure where the train goes to. but I'm sure if you want to research on it, I'll tell you where it goes to. So there's a bit of a notice board on here. I've not noticed as many notice boards as there are in Scarborough. So I'm now walking down the main promenade, and I'll keep restarting as I find somewhere interesting down here. So if you want to bring your dog here, it says no dogs between Good Friday, which is Easter, and 30th of September, and then you can bring them on the beach then. So it looks really well maintained. Some lovely flats, not so bad as the ones at Scarborough. They don't sort of destroy the old heritage of the place. So a further view of the sea from here. I think it's going to be about 14-15 degrees today, so I've picked a perfect day in October to come. Hopefully I can just pull in the fort for you. So there's two forts, and then just to the right of it there's a ship coming, and they're coming into, I think, the immigrant port, and it's probably the biggest port in the UK, or the busiest. So it looks like they have some Christmas lights here, which they'll leave up all year round by the looks of it. They're all down the promenade. There's something going off over here, so I'm going to try and find out what this is. So I just thought I'd show you a bit of the promenade here. We're starting to come on the main bit of promenade, and I'm going to have some fish and chips. Where is it now? I can see it there at the Leaking Boot. I've had them from there before, and the lovely crispy fish, which is what I love. But I'm going to see what they're just doing down here. I don't know if they're doing a... I know where it is now, it's the lifeboat, so I'll give you a quick view of where the new lifeboat house is going to be. So you can see where they're putting pillars in for a new ramp. So you've got the existing Coast Guard station here. I'm guessing they're going to be building a new building with that ramp going in. See if we can see anything when we get around the corner. So you can see a picture of the new lifeboat station. Sun's shining a bit in from that side. So that's what the end result's going to be, with a big ramp on it. So that's what your RNLI money goes towards. So you can see more apartments. It just looks so much better than where the corner cafe is at Scarborough. That looks really, fits in with the place, it don't kill it. Starting to move towards the pier. And we've got Julie's ice cream parlour just here. So here we have Ross Castle, and it tells you a little bit about it on there. Built by the railway people to encourage people to come here on holiday. And you can see the castle here. Now I've come by car. It's probably took me a bit longer than normal because I'm not used to it. I probably picked the wrong time to actually drive here as well. But it probably cost me 20-25 quid to get here in petrol. I'd like to check up later how much it would have cost me to have come on the train. Also, it's not just coming on the train and the cost, it's also the regularity of the train, because I know there's one comes from Kiveton Park, but I'm not sure if it's daily or what, so I'll check up on that later and probably add that into the video when I've been up to the railway station. So there is some parking along here if you just want to come in, have a quick park up and a coffee. It's a bit restricted due to the lifeboat station, but there's still plenty around here. There's another ice cream parlour just there. I've only ever been to Cleethorpes for a day trip, so I don't know that much about it. I mean, I know a bit about it, but not that much. I'm sure there's a lot more to to the place than meets the eye if I came here for a week. Certainly a really relaxing place. So I've just come off the seafront just to show you a bit of the actual promenade here. We should be joining that in a minute, but I thought I'll go back onto the bit of promenade I'm on. A bit of a crazy golf here. I'm guessing that's closed for season, but well maintained grass here. So I've been talking to one at Gardens and he says they don't do the flower beds like they used to do. He said there isn't the money, and grass cutting's gone down from every week to every 3 weeks. So we got a nice looking library just here, and what I like, but some of it's looking a bit dodgy, I like these sort of metal gantries around, lovely chimneys on them as well. So I hope we don't lose sorts of buildings like this. I think they look really better than the more modern buildings. As you can see, promenade. I'm going to walk back down the sea bit, but I just thought I'd show you down here. Another nice bit of park area, but as you can see, I'm sure there would have been flower beds in this, which there isn't anymore. Yeah, we're short of money, aren't we? But they can always find the money to pay executives and waste it on nonsense. That's the only downside I see, really, that I'm not seeing a lot of flower beds. So we're getting more into the core part of Cleethorpes. I'm going to come to the pier in a minute. Quite a few fish and chips around here. Live music up there. So we're now at the pier. See, quite a few of these places are shut down now, but I'd be interested to know whether they have as many bucket and spade sellers as they used to here. There's still plenty of little cafes open along here. Find your lost children here, or you might want to leave them for the day and pick them up at the end of the day. I've had a cup of coffee in the cafe on here before. Now, I made a mistake at Scarborough. I went to Papa's fish and chip shop, and I won't be making the same mistake twice. Might be totally different to Scarborough, but I'm not taking that risk anymore. Probably a totally different fish and chip shop, the Scarborough one, because it was a really bad day that day. What I mean is, it was warm, packed with people. You can't get down here anymore, so that's a shame. So it's all been blocked off from getting to end up here. So I remember being on the pier in the past at a little cafe here, and you can't actually get to it anymore. So it's quite nice being sat above the waves below. So just here we've got 2023 master plan. I'm sure you can read up on that on the internet. But will we ever see any of this levelling up fund? In any of our towns? So you can research the future developments. At Cleethorpes. So I've just popped into Lloyd's, or not Lloyd's, sorry, I've gone to another bank nationwide and topped up with money, and I'm on what's a little bit of a town centre. I'm not going to dwell on it because that's not what I've really come to show you today, but it's quite thriving. It's full of shops and people. Probably wants a lick of paint here and there, but other than that, it's thriving. Market tavern here, which I'm guessing it was probably a market area at one bit, but I'm not looking for any depressed back streets. That's not what I've come here for. Try and show it in a positive light. You've got Market Street up there. Get back onto the high street. I can smell fish and chips everywhere. All day parking fiver there. So we'll get back onto the high street. So I'm just coming back for some fish and chips before I do the bit from the pier to the football ground, but as you can see, this is what I always remember: seaside towns. So I've just been to the Leaky Boot and it just cost me short of £7 for fish and chips, so I'm going to get tucked into that now. So I've just had my fish and chips at the Leaky Boot. They're very nice. So if you want to find it for fish and chips, look for Willie's Pub and a restaurant, or look for the existing lifeboat centre. So we'll get back down to the pier and we'll get back down there up towards the football ground. So I know we all enjoyed this as kids, didn't we, on the slot machines. Fantasy world down here. More slot machines. Last place I want to be as an adult, but when I was a kid I always wanted to be one of them, and I realised that you're never going to win on them. There's only one winner. Oh, look at the sea. It's a bit of a keen breeze. Oh. So here we have Fantasy World and slot machines, something I loved as a kid. But I know there's only one winner now. I was saying just a minute ago, it's a bit of a keen breeze, and then next minute my hat blow off. train station just here, so I'll have a look at the train station. So I love the clock tower on here, very Victorian looking, I'd say. I love that type of building, the architecture on it. So we're now at the train station. It's looking very deserted down here though. Give you a view back on the actual bit of canopy they've got up there. But I'm guessing it's like most railway stations, it's been, or had its roof removed from it. But I would have imagined back in the 19th century and whatever, or even the 1950s, people coming in from Sheffield, industrial towns, would have made it quite thriving. See if I can get another angle on that in a minute from a better angle. But it is quite a large station. So I actually thought they took this away for winter, but it's still here. It's going to get a bit rusty over winter. But you can see everything's shut down here at the moment. In fact, I can get you a better view at the station from over here. Well, you can see a bit of a canopy at the back now, but I might be able to get an angle from the back later. But
I do, yeah. She's at home. I didn't bring her.
But it's all shut down here for the winter. Once I get a bit further on, I'll sort of start the video again. As you can see down here, most of it's shut down for the winter, so there's really little to see down here. I think we get to the market in a moment. So I got into a really shady position to show you the lighthouse. In fact, my camera just jumped then. And then I think that's the original lighthouse in front of it, where you see like a stump there. So just here you can see the market. It looks really bleak down this end, hardly a soul down this end of Cleethorpes. And I'm going to walk on a bit and see if I can find the football ground. So it's really blowing something around this area. You can see these concrete steps, or a barrier towards the sea. See the bay around there. I think that's new, that breaker system there, from what I remember. You can see this goes on and on. Didn't want to show you. That's where I come from, that breaker over here, but look at that. It looks completely out at time, but it isn't, because the ships are still coming up the Humber into the port of Immingham. I'm around the back of Blundell Park, and this is where the visiting supporters come. They're not very big pylons. The ones at Hillsborough are absolutely ginormous compared with those, or the original ones at Hillsborough. About three or four times as high as those. So I'll see what I can see of the ground from the outside. Sorry, I have to laugh at the dinky little floodlights. So this is the main stand. I mean, it's the original ground. I don't think it's really had any much work done on it. And look at the wood on the back of that. and you can see the officers are there by the looks of it. I'll see what else I can see around the outside. So we've got the Blundell Park, and the football ground's called Blundell Park. And the funny thing about it is, it's not actually in Grimsby town, it's actually at Cleethorpes. But there is actually a Cleethorpes town. I've just been speaking to a lady around the ground, and she said that they were considering moving the ground or whatever. But it's really hemmed in by houses, as you can see. They sort of come right up to it. This is the only other way into the football ground by the looks of it. I'll just see what I can get down this side. The trouble is with most of the football grounds, you can never see much from the outside anyway. So you've got another dinky floodlight. I'm just wondering what the prices are here, 21 quid or whatever. So this looks more like the main stand to me than the other side that I first came round on. Not even sure what division Grimsby's in anymore. But 21 quid for that was on that stand sounds a lot of money for this level of football. Yeah, so that looks it really. It's not. If I can find anything more on the ground, I will though. So I'm stood on a bridge over the railway here, and that's the best view I can get from outside the ground of Blundell Park. It's so contained within these houses. See the railway line just here. It's only a single carriage line. Here as well, we're right next to the sea, so it makes me wonder if they get the fans off the train, well, they must have them walk down from the station at Cleethorpes and up across this bridge for the away end, which would make logical sense. So I have one more view to show you on the way back, and that'll be my video wrapped up. I hope you enjoyed it and found it of interest, but there's like one more gem to come. So that's the bridge I've just crossed to get over to the football ground, and then I'm assuming they can walk in from the station as away supporters down here. So like I said, there's one more gem to give you. So this is a gem I've left for you. It's actually at Grimsby rather than Cleethorpes, and I can see it from that distance. It's in the place where the fishing boats are, or where they used to be, and I think they spend a lot of money on actually doing that up. And sometime in the future what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop to Grimsby on the way, because there looks some fantastic buildings and also the old fishing yard. So that's it, end of my video for Cleethorpes. I hope you enjoyed tour around it. Pop out for a day and have some fish and chips. Over and out.